Us. Okay. Tanto. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 4. 2, 2, 4. Four, 2, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 5, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2, 5.
Hello.
Evening, Joe.
Hi, Quentin. Hi, everyone who is there. That I'm.
Trees to water tonight.
What?
I said lots of plants to water.
Okay.
Okay. Down. Tough work. So that's the time. So I'm attacking with a knife. I don't attack until I'm within range. There's no point. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I don't commit to this. So if you start walking back, I only commit when I know I'm in striking range. And when I hit, I'm not hitting the target, I'm hitting through the target. So I'm going to just push this a little bit because I have to push it back. So we're going that way. I'll do it touch on bony bit, I don't hurt so much. But I'm just pushing with strength and you keep centered. Okay, I'm sure it's a bit uncomfortable, but you can stay there. But when I strike, I go through and with my center, it goes right through. So it's much more effective. And the attack is hidden until the last moment. He doesn't know if I'm going to do this or if I'm going to come to a big hug. Okay. So I give her a big target. That's good. Excellent. Yes, I want her to stay on target because students have a terrible habit. You're going to be sensei for a second. Okay. Oh, brilliant. What a wonderful teacher you are. What power you've got. Okay, they don't go for the target. If she makes a mistake, I want to say, you made a mistake in the technique. Again, class. Okay, again. Yes. So I need to be there. I don't turn until she's committed to the attack. And I turn from this position of being square onto her, where I've almost invited the attack, to being side on. I don't want her to miss by 2,000 miles, where I can't control her. I want her to just miss. So her hand is by my side here. And now if she tries to take away, not so easy. You've got me wiggling now. Yep. So am I holding hard? No. So I'm not doing this. Take away. Now I've got no control. Here I'm just extending forward if she pulls. If she pushes, it's either one's good. My little finger, so I've slid down. If I grab, it doesn't shift. This is not good. I want to bring her into my orbit. So we go along here until it stops. So when you're riding a horse, as I understand it, you've got the pommel at the front. It's going to stop you going forward. This is like you hit the pommel here. You slide until it stops. And you use what I call sticky key. Okay, so if I'm not really interested, all I do is, if it's Nick holding the blade, is I cut myself on the blade. Okay, because that's the way he does it. It needs to stop. Yep. So it's not hard, it's light, but I'm extending ki until this goes no further. Let's bring her around, lift your eyes, down we go. And I basically drop this over her shoulder here. Hold on. Because if you make a mistake here when I'm holding it over her face, which you can't see, so come down the mat. So right now the knife is right over her face. If I make a mistake and don't catch it, guess where the knife's going to go? It's not very good form. So I turn it away. So if I do make a mistake, it's all right. So you can stand up to me. Hold on to the knife. Good. So I don't try and pull it out or wrench it out. What I do, there's a magic button between this knuckle and that knuckle. And when you press it, the hand opens. And now I can take it with 2 fingers. So I hit that with ki. So it's not violent at all. There is a little nerve in there. So if you want to actually press it, it's a bit uncomfortable. Yeah? So if you want to do it physically, uncomfortable? Bit nasty? Okay. But when you hit it with the broad palm of your palm, does that hurt? No. But it just opens it. And if I carry on, then I catch the knife. So when she's down on the ground, just come on a little bit. Putting it to the side of her head, I'm extending ki down and I keep going. If I stop at the knife, it doesn't come out. Or I stop at the magic button. I go through the magic button and continue. And then when I offer it back to my partner, I offer it back like this with the blade up. If you're on the street, I suggest you don't do that. I suggest you keep the knife. But in Aikido practice, when you trust the other person, you can do this. Or alternatively, you can place it down and step away. So, big open stance. Move. Keep her moving. Bring her around in front, drop down, and out. Kill. Okay. Any questions?
I just noticed when I press this magic button, this finger open. It's kind of pressing it, and then the rest starts to release.
Yes. Yes. So it's worth knowing that when you're doing Kotegaeshi generally, it's that finger that's the one you want to apply the technique to. In a minute, I'll show you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so you're stepping into this position. And I want you to do that. I want you to hold the ground. Yep. If necessary, you might step back a bit if you think you need to. It will come a little bit more bigger.
I'm sorry.
He's going to come to you. Okay, did you notice what he did with the knife? He went in, out. Yeah. Okay. Again, a bit of a street thing, right?
What you done to kill?
Okay, so slowly, right? My legs on this. He's going to come back and he's going to do that. My time has to be good, so he doesn't get that chance to pull back. His energy is going forward. If I wait for him to stop and start to come back, now we're into a fight situation. So I have to catch him. I have to be defending that leg. And now he's out of his comfort zone. And he's going to want to take that extra step so he has to have another chance. But I don't let him because I carry on moving. So, As you're turning, your hand is turning. So don't do that. The hand and arm move independently. Still do that. So watch how it stays in front of you at all times. It's blending with his energy. Yeah, go on, give it a go. You could of course do that.
Yeah.
Yes, but your angle is important. So if you go like you're going down a ski slope, it won't work. You need to go straight down. Yeah. So even if the knuckle isn't very obvious, still go straight down.
Yeah, the one can I do that?
So wow, yes, energetically, impossible. Yeah. So clench your fist and hold to hold the knife. See how long it's open. If I just I just push. See how I might get uncomfortable, but you kept it clenched. Yeah. So it's really important. I may touch here, but my keys extended to you. So watch her hand. It's open. And as it's opening, I'm taking the knife. His line of attack, is this way. Right? So I don't really want you to be coming back this way. I'm not saying it can't be done. Actually, I won't do that for that bit. I want to take him on the line of go. Now he hasn't got that opportunity that he created when I kind of pulled him back. That's good.
It's done. Yeah, that's right.
So his arm gives you a very good idea of where down is. You just got to do it alongside his arm, it'll point to the ground. And you're trying to take it. Don't concentrate on trying to take it. Concentrate on sending it down. Then it will open and then kind of drop it into your hand. Just give it a drop into your hand and make sure it can.
Yeah.
First movement. Right, so what's your first movement going to be? Don't without him attacking. Yes, it's just the turning. There's no moving, just the turning. Yes. Okay, now have your arm being here in your kind of typical hammy stance. Then it's going, all you're going to do is going to turn that over. Ah, good, good. Okay, now looking good. Okay, now you can stretch, aren't you? So you want to walk to the way. It's an easier stretch than you don't.
Follow the center of your body.
So I've talked about this a little bit. That's his territory in front of his center. He's got control of me. Okay. This is us. This is our territory. Neither one's got control. I can't bring him into, if he doesn't want to. I can't bring him here, and he can't bring me into there. Okay, so this is neutral. So we've got to go forward, and then I can change it into my territory. Okay, so if I'm trying to bring you out of your center, that's hard from there. But from here, the end of the thing is easier to take in. So that's effectively what I'm doing. I'm going to the end of him, and then I'm leading it from the nozzle of the hose into my territory. So, as I'm turning, so initially this is partner position, right? But I carry on turning, and that brings me out of partner position and into my position. So don't end up, that's fine. Now it's going to be difficult because I'm the one that's extended and he's got the end of my hose. I want to be bringing in from that partner and immediately steering into my territory. No second, just turning. Yep, okay. Yep. So, we've managed to avoid him hitting us. And I've got him so far into the partner position, right? And I'm aiming to bring him into my territory. Which foot are you going to vote for moving first? So you get first vote. Is it this one or is it this one that I'm going to move? It's a 50-50 chance. Where's your money? There's no, the right one. That one. So are you going with the right one or the wrong right one? So which one are you going to take? I'm going to go with the right one. The right one. Joe, what's your vote?
I'd say yeah.
Or this
Yeah.
one? You're going with this one.
Yeah, first I thought on the one that is closer to the partner, but with the knife, you still be too much close. So you need to open space, maybe.
Fine. Vitaly?
So maybe you need to think on the out foot, on the right one, then you can open space, maybe.
Okay, fine. That's your vote, the right leg. That's all I needed to hear. Vitaly?
No, the close one.
This one, the left one. Vitaly wins. So if I do this one, I very quickly get into trouble if he wants to follow it. Okay. When I move this one, he'll come. But I'm still safe. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Here is the center of us. Here on the outside is the center of the movement. So he's on the outside of the circumference, so he has the most distance to travel. So I can travel a small circle, he has quite a circle to travel. So I'm always ahead of the game, and I'm always safe. So that's why you're going to step with the one that's nearest him and make this the center of the movement.
Yes, I can explain why there's one situation when you could use the outside leg. If you try to move, go looking forward, meet and go forward, obviously this one is the best way for someone. But if you need to step out of the way, as Joe was saying, then you cannot really do a full turn. You have to go maximum 90 degrees. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You're going to leave your run behind, yes.
So just
Slowly. Just slow. So at this point, still the same, but I cannot really go any further because first of all, I won't be able to, we could go in the stop or you can just easily turn. But at this point, I just need to go using plant the right foot and do 180 degrees rotation there.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
way
that's
is outside of your influence,
Yeah.
and only then you can go down. But otherwise, it won't work.
Okay.
In that respect.
Never say never in Aikido. There's always the exception that breaks the rule. And it depends on what you're feeling from your opponent. So if I catch him when he's coming forward, then this is the best way to go. Maybe
Yeah.
if he plants his feet and he's pulling back and my timing wasn't great, then yes, I have to go this way. Because that's where his energy is going. Okay. So watch your outside foot. That plants, the other one walks around. Yeah, walk around it. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, nice. Okay, so come back to the bit when we're practicing so they can see. So we're practicing here. As a matter of things, okay? So I'll do on this side actually. Okay. So am I by his side here? Can you see? I'm actually not. I'm slightly in front of him, so I will try and hand it so it's more obvious that I'm in front of him. Okay, so you're just keeping on point, okay? That's what's going to happen if I don't catch this right. He doesn't have to come when I'm not right by his side. When I put myself right by his side and I connect, then he'll tell me. So he has the same mindset. I'm centered, I'm grounded, I don't want to move. Come to his side, he will come. But I have to put myself physically and mentally by his side. So make sure that you're really precise on that. And no gapping. Yeah. It's a different way of doing it. So we have got techniques where I'm kind of going to glide past, like red arrows or whatever. And that's kind of what we're doing. You're coming, and then you're turning. And I'm just saying, wait for the last turn. They kind of achieve the same thing. You get to decide which one is more efficient.
I think it also depends on the timing and also when they are kind of like physically moving forward, if you do that.
So I would say, if I do that, it makes it harder to then turn and then do the next bit. Because I've introduced the step, it's going in the wrong direction. This is already taking you in the wrong direction. That's what it's not bad for evasion, it just doesn't help the technique in terms of keeping fluidity.
I think if you have to evade, then it's worth doing the 90 degrees rotation and then 180. Then at least you will have, even here, the person is starting to turn as a nuke, kind of like go 1 and then 2, and it's 90 degrees. We're losing our balance, 180 degrees we're going down. So that would actually work even better if we have to actually step out, outside.
Let's just go to that side anyway.
Yeah, at the moment, yes.
Okay, I'll go. Yeah, nice. Good. Okay. Here's his hand. Make this. So I press the little finger, nothing happens. Press the next one in, nothing happens. Press the next one in, nothing happens. Press the ring finger, and things will start to happen. So that's the one you want to be working on when you're thinking of Kotagaya. That's where you apply energy. Of course, it's not very obvious, is it? Because if you're doing that, kind of I'm extending energy out of my whole hand. But if you had to be precise, that's the one to work on. Yeah. Okay, so this time, yeah, so he's going to slice me in half, which is a bit unfortunate. So, yeah, that's like this. So I need to mirror his shape. So it's no good if he's got this quite slight angle. It almost looks like Shomonichi. There's a little variation. It's coming a little bit from the side. So if I kind of do this kind of thing, it's not going to do me any good. This is this partner with this attack, and I have to mirror it. So slowly, please. If I'm thinking of the knife as being the problem, while I'm blocking this, I'm getting another attack. So that's no good to me. Well, I don't want to block. This is not Aikido, this is something else.
And potentially, I could lose control and actually hit him in the head.
Yeah, or intentionally
Yeah.
chuck it at my head.
But it happened not to me, but to others. I've seen it as an accident in the dojo as well.
So this is a blend. I've come up with him. He still wants to come down, and I let him come down, but I just don't let him come into my space. So I'm extending here all time to stop him coming in. Yes?
Mhm.
This is like a force field. Okay, so I don't let this collapse. That's plainly stupid. And as it goes down, this comes on the top, and I can steer him away. And he's ended up right in front of my center and out of his, which allows me to come round and drop straight down. Again, if I get fixated on trying to take the weapon, well, apart from the fact that it's very inefficient, he's got about 5 minutes to start hitting me and turning around and stuff like that. So not good. So I just drop down, and his hand will open. So drop down. It will come. And I've shown you Shinagi before. You won't see me be doing any shapes like this where I end up in front of him. At least I hope you won't. You might. It's on record. It's recorded. So maybe I'll look back and go, oh my God, I'm doing it. But I don't think so. And you shouldn't see me lifting it to this height. Because have I got control of you now?
Not really.
Oh, no, I haven't. Have I got control of you now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I'm never going to go any higher than that. But even if, I mean, let's say he's really short. He is shorter than me. I've made this a bit difficult. So this bit is really what I need to get him down. So as he comes up, I've already turned. That way I don't have to do limbo. And if I've got someone really tall, which is perhaps often the case for you, Joe, well, then I bring them down to my house. I do this. You've got a great advantage because you're lower than them. You're much nearer the ground, and gravity really, really helps. Okay, so.
It's devastating. The difference in height.
Okay, just a really small point. Just your hand just there. That's really signaling the block. And that's saying, no, you shall not pass. Okay, and you want it to be like this. You want your palm to be facing in the same direction as his palm. My brother was saying something different.
Actually, don't want to slide underneath. No, that's good.
Warm yourself up. Yeah. Okay. So I showed one way of taking out. So I bump this up for whatever reason. Then I'm going to follow it down to the ground. And you stay there, and out it will come. But be very careful. This is incredibly uncomfortable. Yeah. So you just need to apply a bit of pressure here.
And then see if my center comes up. That was the best. That's a very good one. Because I was going to attack again.
So I don't really want to do. Because I've lost my balance when I do that. You spotted a small opening which you then take
And
advantage
actually,
of.
you get throw as well. It comes so.
So if I'm going to go down, never want to lose my shape. Let's go down with it. Have a choice.
You should do one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I want to turn that. So now
She's very
You're more control.
You can see, let's go. Sorry, it's go down and turn. Let's go. Sorry? You don't do it, just- yeah, do it.
Come this way, up. And yes. Okay, so just 1 point. Which is perfect this time. I won't be able to make the point. She stopped, I didn't stop. If she stops, I'm going to catch her up, even though I've got a bigger circle to travel around. She's got to keep rotating until I start heading towards the floor. Turn, it's around. Then in the end, it becomes really, really easy. So it's important that you stay ahead again. Okay. He wants you to attack him. I can hardly feel it. I want to still cut you. Send it out. So don't go push it over, just go straight down. Big knock
You're
and down.
maybe nice. I'm gonna attack you, and people keep changing in one.
Does that work?
No. I went down too much. Continue to
Nice. Very nice. Now you're not going to need to go down.
Yeah.
In this direction.
Oh, same thing.
Down.
I'll see where I can read it.
Well, yeah, no problem.
Just about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. No, you're nice. Yes.
That was really good.
Also, when I'm shuffling the feet,
Yeah, you said what you like.
spinning on the outside.
So from here, just look.
Come on, with the other hand. Good. That's one. All righty. Let's see again. Sure. Again, sorry. No, it's good. Again, the first move is not to be here, but to turn. All right. For Kota Gaesh, we're on top. For the next one, we're going to be underneath. And then we drop down and we attack and we spin away. Oh, so one, around and drop. So she's open right up to me now. And I attack. And then I step to her hand because if I do this, yeah, there's lots of time for you to do stuff. So I drop down. Okay, so I step to the hand. So I'm here. And I want to be marginally in front of her hips. So I want to be kind of here. If I'm behind, it's not going to work. If she wants to hold on to that, she can, but I'm not going to get uncomfortable. But here, I just extend key to her head, and it's already out. So, 1, 2. You're probably dead already.
Can we protect ourselves in this case?
Probably a plan. Yeah. So, if I don't do this, she can do that. So this is what I do. So now she's thinking about defending rather than attacking. So now I can go around. That's the whole point of the attack, to anticipate the fact that she's going to counter. There's the threesome. Just check in. How are we doing? Any questions?
Attack first, and then I'll take it, attack you, and then-
Vitaly, good? Drop down a bit more. Yes. Yes. So now the jump has looked good. Not behind me now. I can't make the hands look sort of like that. Before, and then yes, you do. That was amazing. Amazing. I had a space. And looking at me. Lined up in my center. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to give you one little I'm not stopping you.
What's your count? Sorry.
You step back behind, then you step behind.
Okay.
So we slow it down. What's going on? No, where's my hand? Yes, you step there. Yes! You go. Yeah.
Start myself.
And then train myself this time, that's good. This. So this is got down. Are you ready? Nice. That's it. Slash her into. You don't play the cake, then break that one as well. I'll have to go through it. So, keep center. Good. Next we can try this. That's okay. So again, center. Yep. Ten more. Yes, now. So I'm standing slightly in front of her. It's happening a little bit. People are doing this, dropping the hand. Is it taking the knife out of your hand? How's everybody? Just drop your arm. Is it helping me or is it helping you? It's helping you. So just keep it here and extend your partner. Let them go down and then take out. The partner's the problem. The knife isn't the problem. Her arm is not the problem just because it's holding the knife. Okay. I need to drop her to be able to take it out safely. It's the last thing I need to worry about, really. So we've done on top, we've done underneath. And this time we're going to go down the side. Here. Drop down, and then we drop it across our body. Go into a Nikki area. Good. Yeah. Try it around. This is like a pendulum. It drops across my body. And I hold her close to me here. You get up. Not easy. You get up. So as soon as my arm is not tied to her, it's okay. Okay. Now you would think this is the one I want, this hand here is the one I want to focus on. I don't. What I do is I now bow to take her down to the mat. And now I can take them out. I will have control of this hand. Because I'm not doing anything with this. Can you flap it around a bit? Yeah, just, yeah. I don't really want all that going on. It's going to be not good. So I will hold that there just so she can't do that. But this in itself will not take her down to the mat. And it's easier to take her to control this if I take her down to the mat. Because actually you could, if you I get muck around with this, grab my leg. Ah, hey, I don't want that to happen. So down to the mat. Let's take that away from her. And now I can take it out. Stop. Right around, pendulum swing, bow. Try. No, I need that. You don't need it. Yeah, that's a sticky leg. Oops. So if you drop too soon, I have to wait for me to arrive.
General idea. You do this, you get a space to again. You do this.
If you drop now, that's what's going to happen. It's not going to be very effective.
Yeah.
She has to wait until I take one more step. Wait. Now. Then it's effective. One of the hardest things in Aikido is to be patient. We always want to do the technique before, you know, because we could get there that fast. But if your partner hasn't come with you, you're wasting your time. Nice. Yeah. Now, I hope you had a good angle on that because her body was really tight to mine. She was really tight up against my arm. She had all the control. Now, here, that's the opposite. So there's a big gap between us now. So she actually hasn't got any control of me. She wants to bring me into here, and now when I try to stand, I can't. And we achieve this with this free flow. See, gap. So I try to bring it up to me. If I just let it flow, she comes right into me. So, as is often the case in Aikido, less is more. Don't try to do it, let your body do what it naturally wants to do, drop it down, and that will probably be the right thing. Okay, cool.
Long reach.
So I guess this would be sort of
You wonder your life.
money of my life. Okay, so this looks very uncomfortable, and if I panic, I'm dead. Okay, so rather than go forward to run away, where he's just going to carry on the stabbing, actually I go to it. It doesn't seem intuitively seem sensible. But I'm going to spin around the corner. Now I've got to dash, if it was in the other hand. And now I've got it. So I have had teachers who have told me to cultivate seeing here, but I have to say, no, I've not mastered that yet. So unless I get one of those sort of selfie cameras, so I can see behind, I don't know which hand he's holding it. So I can't afford to anticipate. Oh, okay, that's that. We'll go off in this direction. It doesn't matter which way you turn. Well, it's very similar to the Shianagi turn. I actually want to stay tight to this. You hold your left hand, that one, whatever that hand is. Yeah. So you can see I'm turning around the point. It doesn't take me long before I actually do it from the other side. You can see that now the blade's alongside me. Okay, I mean, if you were holding his blade sideways, that would be a
turn eventually.
It could potentially turn, but probably not if I'm quick enough.
Yes.
So just do this slowly. This one goes down. He wants to come up. I ride it and go with him. I'll take him down to the mat. There's a guy.
Absolutely.
I'll try and tell you that. So here, I send his elbow towards his face. Two things will happen here. He gets hit in his face by his elbow, which isn't smart. So he gets his face out of the way and keeps turning. That's how this is going to work. Well, on this move, I'm going to concentrate on that elbow. But equally, I could concentrate on dropping this hand down. There's no set rule. Just seeing when he's up, it's more obvious to go and tap the elbow than that one. There's a little bit of a possible opening here that doesn't merge if you use the elbow. You try. Yeah, you put it in. That's good. What do you want? Yeah, so that one's come to you a little more.
I can see her.
So the down was really, really good. He came up and he went across my body. So he went around it, so I follow that. And this is where I end up. So now even if he goes down, it's tough. So now just keep going up, 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 up until you see him turn. So timing is always determined by uke. It's not determined by tori. I could have had it if I had another knife tea.
Thankfully for me, you didn't.
So, well, I think I've always got over it when that happens. Yes. Perfect, Madam. Yeah. Nice straight line.
Yeah, yes.
Something very important about keeping our posture. So hopefully you can see there's a little bit of an angle in my back now. This suddenly becomes really tough. I need to draw him up. And I do that by drawing myself up. And it's really easy. If I come down, and both his shoulders are on the ground, he can actually get up. Can't he?
Yes.
Now I'm in trouble. If I can raise one shoulder off the ground, I can get up now.
It's harder.
Much harder.
Yeah, it's much harder, yeah.
So I don't draw up. And the best way of drawing up is to stand straight.
So I thought I gave you enough time to go up. This is the problem.
Yeah. You get to there, and then you go across.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like you, very bendy.
Yeah.
You need to
Yeah.
keep it up. So see how after when you kept going, now I'm vulnerable. But I can be very close. I'm not vulnerable until you get my body.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's slice the wheel. Come on.
That's I think maybe a push like this after that should be more effective.
So if you've got a knife like this, if I try and pull it off,
It's down.
yeah, so I'll try to do this in slow motion because he might get a bit excited, you never know. I'm going to get my knife slip, my neck slip. So I just need to drop down. Now that's away from me. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but he's away from it. So if you're being strangled, that's the key thing. So we'll drop the knife for the moment. If you're being strangled, don't open your throat up. Drop your chin down and the weight of your elbow. I'm really trying to strangle him, but I can't get back there. Now he's got his elbow through it, and now I'm in trouble. Yeah, very simple. Very simple. But it's life-saving. Okay, this buys you the time to turn in, maybe. There's a potion angle he's looking for. Or he could just. Here. I can kick him. I can jump on his toe. I can go into thank you. Boom. Down. Kicking is I guess not to try and escape. Actually, I'm putting the strangle on me. I stay close to her. That's opened up a sanctuary for me. push each other up, turn to each other, and not kill each other really. Down, up, oh, look, the guys turn the other way, I think. Down, just enough to breathe, not enough to feel comfortable. Turn, there's the hand. Feels more like the end of the sanctuary, but you're feeling it, it's there.
When you go home.
It's not.
I'm always into something.
I saw more too.
Now you're trying to pull
Ah,
down.
yeah.
So just drop your weight down. Just relax it, no. Just say.
That's just about
Don't drop it any more forward. Just let go on, rest there and go down. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If you do a big yank thing, oh, yes. So I can feel that you're
Yes,
about to
yes,
yank
yes,
me, and I can do something about it. But if you put your hand there,
Yeah.
just really breathe out.
Yeah. Feels kind of like that.
So I know I'm on the phone now.
So I do that. Maybe you can go.
Yes.
Yeah. At least if it looks further down, then I wouldn't be able to go around it. I suppose. Nope. Can we further?
I'm trying to get back there.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
So, who likes strangles? They're horrible, right? So you really have to be kind to each other when you're doing it, okay? There's no point me really trying to choke him out. I just want him to feel, oh goodness, this is a bit uncomfortable. So I'm not going to hold it down there. That's no good. He's not going to feel anything there. So I am going to bring it close to his throat. So he knows if I go any tighter, he's in trouble. And if you try and yank my arm off, that didn't do any good. So he hasn't done it, released it. And if you do that again, I've got the time, if I wanted to tighten it up and squeeze it. I'm not going to do that. Right?
Thank you.
Now I can't hold, right? So he's released it now, and whatever he wants to do from here is whatever reveals itself. But he doesn't yank me hard. He blends with me and then uses gravity. I'm very close to his throat, but he's fine now. This is good. You want to carry on? Oh. So I guess like everything, you want the right balance between kindness and being realistic. What seems kind by not really strangling him doesn't allow him to practice. Choke him out if he makes a mistake, going a bit too far the other way. We just want a measure of discomfort. Oh, he knows I'm there. Yeah. Oh, there you go. All right. This is kind of not pleasant. If your arms are going right up your shoulders, and if I fight it, it hurts my shoulders. It's uncomfortable. So he's definitely got my elbows and he's got my arms. What hasn't he got? He hasn't got my fingers, so I can support them down. And now things are revealing themselves. Oh, thank you. So I've made a stupid mistake, or he's taking me off to the police. If I try and fight against that, I can't do it. I don't try and fight against it, I just turn my fingers down. surprising how quickly you can release. Oh, definitely uncomfortable. You know, I'm going off the chair at this point. But if I relax, things happen. Just do that again. Good. So he's got my hands up. Before I turn my fingers down, he's adapted, shall we say. But I can't stop me turning. So my hands are there, but my hips can turn. So it's always, don't roll all of your body all at once, I don't think. You can try. So it's definitely on my arms, but it's not on my hips. Can you stop that turn?
Almost everything.
Okay, so let's try that. Don't panic, there's always a solution. Just relax in the rest of your body and then breathe.
But it's very close, very, yeah. I think it's correct.
Yeah. It's difficult.
Yes.
He can't, I've got hold of his fingers, so I can't turn his fingers down. But I can't stop him turning. Ah!
Oh, that's good. That was very, yes, good.
So I am holding relatively hard.
Yeah.
So if he tries to spring out of the band, he's not going anywhere. It's like the more he moves, the more he gets stuck.
Yes.
But actually, I can't really stop him within this embrace, or dropping down even, or whatever he chooses. And he's still got the stamp on the foot and the kick in the thigh, so that will move his mind. There are little nerves there. And I won't do this, but I will show. The thigh is very vulnerable. If you do a key pinch, he will lean right back.
The theme of today's class is the magic point, the magic button.
Yeah, these are the dark arts now. Yeah. I know the results of that. Yeah. I mean, those.
What if you do in movement? Rather than being totally static, can actually introduce movement.
Yeah. So Shimi Sankyo from movement. Don't start like this, because he's never going to attack you in the right way. You have to give him an opening. Yeah. So he thinks, whenever my arm is away from my body like this and not in the center line, I'm vulnerable. Okay, so it's a bit like saying, welcome, come on in. But when he takes, I move, and then I drop. And if I'm really feeling fun, I attack. So if he thought he had me, but actually I've got him. that would be no fun if we finished at that point. So. And you know, really it's stupid if you let them strangle you if you can do it before then. So. Yeah. So when I have my partner here, I'm extending ki to the ground in front of my feet. So if he tries to come up, it's hard. If I'm extending to his head, he'll take me. So I have to drop to the ground. And he's not coming. And if I need to still take him forward, I'll move a little bit forward. I've not developed rubber arms, so I can't put them on the floor, but I have got a mind that can extend to the floor. So if I extend to the end of my hands, that works so far, that's what will happen. If when I get to here, I extend to the floor, not so much. You'll feel that you won't want to come up.
Actually, kind of keeps on the shoulder as well. So once done correctly, and the shoulder now then new connection point.
On the drop, it's a bit of a lightning strike. It's not up. You can do it slowly, that's fine. It's good practice. But in reality, you just go boom. And that's what happens to them. They go boom. Like that. So this is my way of immobilizing. I will always put my knee by the head so that the arm is right up and I'm still extending downwards. So if you try to get up, very hard. Take the Sankya with my other hand because I'm totally in control, try to get up. Very hard. Then I think about coming round in a circle. And get this bend in the elbow. Can you get up? No. Then I draw that into my center. I just turn a little bit until he taps. Because I'm trying to stretch him out and strengthen his body, make him more supple, not break him. So I don't whip round, so he's got no control and panics and tenses up. I just ease into it so that I take all the slack out of the system. So the drop is to my side and up. It is not behind me, I'm in trouble. Oh. So as he takes, this comes to me. And that movement draws him round the back. That's where I want him now. That's where he was trying to get to anyway. I'm going to help him. And I'll step up just before the strain. Any questions? Okay, let's do it. Notice I come round here. This would not be very sensible. I make like I'm not going to, and then I do. Yeah. So you get a lot of people say, oh, this isn't very realistic to do this technique. Why would you do that? And it's because they're doing this straight on. And it isn't very realistic from there. You would only do this attack if I've got an opening. I've got an opening to get around the back and control. Nope. Or if his hands were there and I was around the back, great. This is where this is really coming from. Where's down? Oh.
Forgot that.
You found? We found it.
You know the standing lock. Let's see if we can do it. How easy is it?
It's okay, right?
Yeah? Can you get up?
No, no, you can get up.
No,
It's not just young coffee.
yeah, it's supposed to be.
My opinion, but I'm not.
Mhm.
You bastard. Ah,
I stopped here, my mind stopped
see?
here. Yeah.
That's the point what he's making, okay, so I'm supposed to follow his key. If his key goes a foot above the ground, that's great, I don't need to go down, then just the counter. His key needs to go slowly.
Oh, yes.
And just compare,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
compare.
Oh, yeah.
I can't fall away to the wrong. Yeah, that's better. Keep going to the floor, to the floor, to the floor, to the floor, to the floor. Now there's no counter. When you do it that slowly and it works, it's definitely going to work when you kind of just let the weight do the work.
And breathe out as well. Rather than keeping it in. That's- It works much better. You can maintain the form and the breath and then all the way down.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ah,
Oh, because yeah. Breathe out. Nope. Nobody's wrong. Street, you can say. Wonder. Next week. Ah.
stand.
Stand.
What? So, as he comes in, I'm moving back. He comes in and joins with his cut. Helps him put his hand on the floor. There's no desire to stop this. There's only a desire to help him. Help him not to be there. Stay safe. I have to move. Yeah. Face the roll.
Yeah.
If I'm going to throw them. So, timing is everything. Slowly. Oh, timing was wrong. So it's still wrong. Yes. I have to adjust to what's coming. Okay, you go a little. There we go. That's 3.
That's our dog.
One
That's right,
each
we got
corner.
it.
That's good. Yeah, we'll start from another one.
The other way, yes. And only.
Oh,
Yeah, why not? Run to the queue. Nice timing. Little bit faster, but yeah. Yes. Right, yeah. Nice. Alright. Single diagonal. Pretty easy.
Yeah, so there's
you all have diagonal one.
Oh. Get more purchase. Yeah.
Why not?
Oh. Right, so, some things down. Again, sensitivity required. So it's not bad. If he misses it, I stop there. And release. You've got to have an aware student to do this. So this is this is how we learned this from the start. That's an intermediary version. That's more direct still. You just take a straight line to the target. Always you have to have the sensitivity. It's you. No, to stop. You might have caught the grimace on his face. It needs to be close enough to make it look shit, but not close enough to hit. So just one more time, get across the map. No good. Complete waste of time. You'll see a lot of places where, okay, now it's the time of defense now. Yeah, and that's not very realistic. The cut should be that feeling. If he moves, that's where it's going to go. If he allows it to, it doesn't catch and doesn't. But if he doesn't move, it's that feeling, ideally that close. Yeah. So you need to be able to stop and slam your brakes on very quick and not do the sensitivity thing. Oh dear, he's not moving. Now you will think it's something we hope.
Uh,
Oh, that's nice.
All right.
All he has to do is get out of the way.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, look at this one.
Okay. Super blessed to stop. Okay, so let's form a kind of circle where we go and see behind the screen. Okay. Thank you all. So we're going to finish our class. Take a moment to see. Thank you.
Very much.
Any
Vitaly?
questions, team?
Yes, first Vitaly said he had to leave early because of his son back to school and said sorry
No worries.
and asking for the recording.
Yeah.
I thought really interesting the police officer technique. I don't know what the name is, but I took some screenshots. I can send you.
Right, okay.
You as the uke, you had your chest open, and Nico, when he was grabbing you, he was completely closed. So that was very interesting because as you were open, you could get out of that, you know, do something about that. And Nico was kind of only worried about grabbing and controlling you, kind of that. So it was very interesting.
I mean, the general point is that whatever they're grabbing or they're aiming at, that's where their mind is.
Yeah.
So it can't be anywhere else. So you've got everything else that you can move and use. And really, a lot of the time, what we're doing is we're trying to encourage them to attack where we want them to go. So it's not even their idea that that's the place to go. You're actually signaling, oh, this bit's open, have a go. So if I'm doing the next ski, I will stand like this. Say, oh, there's a big target there. Would you like to have a go? You know, here I'm saying, I'm ready for you. It's a different signal. He's going to think twice, or he's going to do something, and he's not going to probably attack with Manetsky now. He's going to do something different because I've opened up my neck a bit when I'm here. So maybe he'll do Yokoman, or maybe he'll attack my shoulder, or maybe he'll attack this hand, but he probably won't punch me here because if he does, I'm just going to do that. And that's the end of that.
And also the Ushiro Kubishime,
Yeah.
it's kind of, we can let that full grabbing happen, or we can do something before so it doesn't happen. And
in a way,
that's
it's harder to do that technique from static. So I mean, if someone's come up behind you and starting to strangle you, then you've got to do kind of the full thing. But just remember, this is going to save you. You don't have to be strong. You just have to be relaxed. Get a friend, play carefully, and see how it works. Okay. But in reality, you know, if that's what his aim is, I'm not going to let him get there. Why let him get there? I don't need to do
Yeah,
that.
it'll be too late. Too late. And Aikido is preventing the inevitable rather than actually kind of like only facing a single outcome.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely.
How about you, Finn? Any questions?
No, thank you. I was really appreciating the flow and the variety and creativity, but also just the posture as well. Noticing when you were talking about how you control things by either bowing or being more of an upright posture, that was really interesting to see. Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure. Nice to see you again. How are you? You good? Excellent. Right, well, I will be posting the recording, and I'll just drop the link into the messenger group that I've created, which I'll add you to, Finn. Now I know you're on Facebook. So it's there for you to look at again if you want to. If you don't, that's fine. I'm not putting these public, they're just for those that want to have a look. Okay.
Brilliant. Many thanks.
Oh, let's stop the recording then, I think.